Hello, hope you're having a great weekend. I thought I'd come on and talk to you a little bit more about the experience with mold that I had and give you some tips if you're in a similar situation. I started out in a moldy environment and I had no idea there was mold there. And we always had some flooding every few years and leaks in the house, but I thought we always got them up rather quickly. And so I didn't think there was any problem. But the truth is that mold is very sneaky, and you won't always know that it's there. You won't always see it. You won't always smell it. But once you discover that you are living in mold, and especially if you know it's contributing to your health problems, it's important to do one of two things. It's either you need to remediate, which means you have somebody come in who knows what they're doing, and there are a lot of people who say they do, but they really don't. So you got to do your research there. And you need somebody to come in who knows what they're doing and show you what to do, how to get that mold cleaned out, and show you how to clean up your environment so that it can become safe for you to live in again. The other option is to move, but if you do move, it's important not to just take your current items in the state they're in from your current home to your new home. You've got to clean things so that you're not just bringing the mold along with you. I didn't take a lot of things that were like over an inch or half an inch to an inch thick, because I knew that every time you squish them like a cushion or a pillow or sit in them, it's going to go poof, and the mold is going to go back into the air. So those are the kind of items I left behind. Anything that I couldn't submerge and clean thoroughly well, or run through the washing machine with detergent and washing soda, didn't make it. It was important to me. If I did take some, then it was like very tightly sealed up in a container and kept away from my other clean items. But things that you should think about, if the house is flooded, if there's been a leak in a window in the roof under the sink, maybe you live in an environment that is very humid, that is conducive for mold to grow, like on a lake house or on a pond, or in Louisiana on the river. These are places where you're going to have much higher humidity, and you're going to have a much higher chance of having mold in your environment. A lot of people, they try to move to Arizona to get away from the mold. They go to a very dry environment after being so devastatingly ill from mold. They just never want to be exposed again, and so they look for the driest places in the country to go live. And I can understand, after being as sick as I was, I really had no life for a very extended period of time. I was chronically ill and disabled, and it was it was so sad, and I felt like I missed out on a portion of my life because I was so sick and unable to even have fellowship and conversation with other people. I just isolated myself more and more, because I just couldn't do the social things, and even at times carrying on conversations was just seemed like a huge monumental task, and they're just, when you're that sick, it's hard to find people who can relate and understand. So that's why I'm here talking to you about my experience, so you know that you're not alone. I just want you to know, if you are in a situation where you can't move out of that environment, or you can't remediate, that there are things you can go ahead and start doing to start feeling better. Okay, you're not stuck there with no help. You can go ahead and start showering at the end of the day, just to make sure you're getting the mold off your body. You can start cleaning your bedding more regularly. A lot of people wait 2 or 3 weeks to change their sheets or pillowcases. You want to do that a couple times a week, if not more. But if all you can do is once a week, do that. As much as you can, get that bedding clean so that you're sleeping in a cleaner, less moldy environment. Leave your food uncovered Not a good idea. Once you cook, once you prepare food or you bring it in from the outside, put it in a sealed up container. Glass containers are your best bet, and you can use a plastic lid or cellophane or aluminum foil. Just don't put the lids on while the food is still hot. That'll cut down the mold that's getting into your food. Go outside and get fresh air as much as you can. Also, when the air quality is good, make sure you don't want to go from a moldy environment in your house out to, if there's a ton of pollen out there and you know the pollen's going to make you sick, that's probably not the best day to get out. But when the air is in good shape, get out, get fresh air, open the windows, open doors, let the apartment air out. Use a air filter if you can afford to have air purifier. There are some really fantastic ones out there. Even if you can't get the most expensive ones, they have some that are really affordable at Amazon. And these are just some simple things you can do to go ahead and start feeling better. I would encourage you to check your vitamin D levels. A lot of people who've been living in mold find that their vitamin D levels are really low. Their immune system is run down from trying to deal with the mold. If you can get vitamin D3 with K2 in your system, that's going to help you with your muscle pains, your nerve pain, and getting your immune system back to functioning better. I found that was a huge help for me. I still take that. You do want to get your D3, K2 levels checked every 6 months to a year if you're going to take it daily, because D3 can become toxic if you take too much. So it's a balance. So go ahead and, if you find your levels are low, try to get them back up. I know conventional medicine says if you're like around 20 or 30, I think it's around 30, you're okay. But functional medicine and integrative medicine don't want you to just be okay. They want you to thrive. And so they want your levels to be much higher. And that's what I aim for. I try to get mine around between 60 and 70 is where I like to see mine. But that's just my personal choice. Of course, you have to do what's right for you. Another thing you can do is there is a product line called Micro Balance EC3. I use some of their products. They have candles that you can burn in your home that'll help get the mold out of the air. They have sprays you can use to clean things, additives for your laundry. Like I said, I just use a clean laundry detergent with a washing soda. That's what worked for me. But you can check out the EC3 products. They're quality products that work well for especially when you're trying to move items from one place to the next. It's good to get them cleaned, but you can also use them in the current environment just to cut down on the level of mold. I also have a little meter that I keep in my apartment, and it lets me know if my humidity levels are getting too high. If it gets over 50, I know that becomes an environment that's conducive to mold growth. So if I see mine get up in the 50s and the 60s, I go pop in on my dehumidifier and start sucking some of the moisture out of the air, because I know that'll help prevent more mold growth. Okay, that was a lot of info, but I hope you found it helpful. I am going to put out a blog post this week on L is for life. That's ELIS for life.com with a lot of this information and really great links, so that if you want to check out where you can get that meter, if you want to check out where you can get a dehumidifier or an air purifier or some of these Microbalance EC3 products, I will link those in the blog so you can check them out. And if you have any questions, be sure to reach out. I'd be happy to help you. I want to build a community where people who who have experienced these issues can communicate and encourage one another. And there's also a really great website with a woman who suffered with mold issues herself, and I will link that in the blog post as well. Sometimes they have courses you can take to help you really dive in and find out more things you can do to help yourself overcome mold illness. And I will put that in the blog post too. All right, you guys have a great rest of your weekend, and I look forward to catching up with you this week. All right, love you. Bye.